What is up, guys? Welcome back. Evan Aldo here. If you enjoy the content, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. So what I want to talk about is Bitcoin, Ethereum. I want to talk about the DXY a little bit, ETH, Bitcoin, why a lot of the alts keep leading against Bitcoin, the S&P 500, NASDAQ as well, just a little bit. And let's get into it. Why I kind of think we could, have another jump up to potentially 28.5K in the more short term. I think we generally could still be bullish until kind of the Fed meeting, more sideways bullish until the Fed meeting on Wednesday. I kind of don't know how the markets are going to react to that. We don't even know what they're going to do. I think it's going to be 25 basis points, obviously, because that's what the odds are, but we will see. So let's get into this. You still have a green dot, printing on the weekly. This confirms. So we're going to confirm a weekly candle above the 200 weekly moving average, which is right at around 25.4. So that's a really bullish sign. I mean, if we could confirm that, the odds that this was the bottom are very high. Like they skyrocket. Also, if these EMAs could all go bright here, similar to how they did back here after the bottom, and similar to how they did, let's see, do I even have enough data? Somewhat, yeah, kind of similar to how they did, over here. That's a good signal that we've kind of hit the bottom. We're not quite there yet, and the other thing too is we're in kind of the accumulation year, similar to 2015, similar to, let me go on logs so you can see this a little bit better. Similar to 2019 and similar to 2015. And you look at these 2 years, very choppy, up, down, like up, down, just a very choppy area. So, can we come up higher? I mean, you do have a technical target, I think if there's more fear with banks and people are just getting out of banks, they want some safe haven and they understand how to use a hardware wallet, that could be the catalyst to kind of, look, this is a reverse head and shoulders. If you break up from here, you do have a technical target. I mean, I think some people were saying 40K, but you theoretically can keep running here. And I think what will happen is it'll just be a very Bitcoin dominant rally. And I mean, if you're looking at 2019, if it was, kind of like here, you made it all the way up to 14K. I mean, obviously, look what happened after. But you made it up to 14K. That's pretty close to all-time highs. I know you guys are going to be shocked I'm saying this. I do change my opinion from time to time based on new things, new developments, new things that happen, fundamentals too. Who knew these banks would go down? You could be looking at 40, back at this area. I mean, who knows? Maybe even sky. I know this sounds kind of crazy. I know people are going back to saying 200K, that type of stuff. I kind of don't think we're going to come this high unless there's just a lot more fear with banks and stuff. But I think in the short term, you could come up at least, another $1,000 potentially. And the reason for that, okay, we still have the weekly, green dot. That looks kind of good. Let me just talk about the daily here. This is the more catalyst for, this would just tell us that, we're pretty soon going to reverse this trend and have a decent correction here. Who knows if it's off at 32K, 33K, if it's off at 28.5K, pick your poison. We don't know that, but what I can tell you is that it's likely once the 90-minute kind of crosses into the red here, that most likely you've hit a local top. That would be a good indication that you probably hit a local top. Now for the short term, what we see, we're seeing the weekend, less trading volume. Probably a lot of people are trying to short off of this area. And, I think if you did, you probably should have locked in profits down there. You know what I mean? Kind of something of that nature, not financial advice. Obviously, I didn't think it happened. But what I think is when you're in an uptrend like this, you tend to see. So we just confirmed, I guess you could call this a tiny little, see the green dot right at the zero line here, almost a trigger wave. Also, the 45 right here, trigger wave. So that could potentially bring us higher. Maybe not, but it could potentially bring us higher. And even if it doesn't, kind of just wait to potentially short until the 90-minute, comes into the red here. It's a patience game. A lot of people have said trading is patient people taking from impatient people, and I think that's very, very accurate in a lot of times. We do have on the lower time frames like 15-minute money flow crossover coming out. This combined with you just confirmed a bearish dip in the 4-hour. This could be a potential short. I probably wouldn't do anything right now. If I was inclined to do something, just because we're in such a big uptrend, I'd rather kind of try to trade this little trigger wave and try to go up to 28.5 here into maybe even tomorrow, maybe Monday, Tuesday before the Fed meeting, potentially give that a try. But it's a little bit hard to say kind of at the moment what there is to do. Obviously weekends are going to be harder trading times, so that's what I'm kind of looking at for Bitcoin right now. Obviously really momentous. You got the weekly green dot. And let's just look at some of the other time frames from green dot. This looks like it could continue forward. a bit farther, kind of on the 3-day. Obviously, 30K is a very, very big place of resistance. My kind of guess is like, I mean, I don't, my kind of main guess is like you get somewhere like 28.5 to 29, 28, 29, that kind of area. You don't quite make to 30 before you get a significant pullback to back to, let's say, 25 or something like that, or retest the 200. So that's what I kind of think is in the cards. I do think the Fed raising rates also would potentially be a kind of a stop to this rally on Wednesday. I don't know, though. A little bit hard to say there. ETH, I'm not going to spend a real lot of time on. Let me just show you ETH Bitcoin 3-day. You confirmed another blood diamond. I think this is going to continue to bleed, for a variety of reasons. One, that's typically what happens in the accumulation phases. Bitcoin outperforms a lot of the alts by a lot. Bitcoin dominance rises. Also, the technicals, blood diamond, this looks like it'll continue to kind of come down, I think, at least to this kind of area in the next few months. Worst case scenario, if things get really freaking ugly, down here, this is if ETH goes to makes a lower low at 800 or 600, something like that, and Bitcoin goes back to 15K, 13K. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of unknowns here. I think this is going to be a crazy year. I think either way, even if we keep going up or going down, it's going to be kind of a crazy year. So that's what I'm looking at for ETH and ETH Bitcoin. And ETH itself is a lot of the same. So right now, let me just get rid of this or trend line. Let me keep this. So we're hitting the top of this trend line right here. And, it's at about 18. So we're playing with 18. And probably a lot of people are trying to short because of that, which it's probably not the worst idea. However, when you're in these big uptrends and you're on a weekend, a lot of times the market will play around with you. I mean, look at the 4-hour. You're not even coming down with money flow yet. So that's why I'm a little hesitant to try to short or really enter any trade, just because it's on the weekend right now. But if I was looking at doing something, I would be more inclined to go long in Bitcoin if I was going to go long, just because Bitcoin keeps outperforming ETH. But the VWAP coming up here, you're about to get that trigger wave. Maybe this next trigger wave will give you what you need for one more chop up, for another jump up to 19. I mean, maybe kind of this pocket up here. That's what I would potentially be looking for the most right now as a potential trade. You have money flow generally coming out on the 15-minute. I do see the reasoning people would be looking to short. That combined with the 4-hour bearish dip here. I just want to wait till money flow comes out a little bit more. And most importantly, just like let's look at the daily here. Just like Bitcoin, daily VWAP is kind of heading down, coming back up, but generally heading down. I think once you get on the on the 90-minute here, downward crossing, back into the red money flow, I think that's going to be a good place to look to go short. Potential trend reversal, potential good swing short right there. Let's also look at the DXY a little bit here. You're heading down to kind of this area. It's a pretty big fib level if you do look historically. I mean, these fib levels are drawn from the all-time low, all-time high to the all-time low for the Dixie. So strong levels. I do think generally, Bitcoin could continue to kind of rally a little bit until we kind of test this level. I think you'll test this level again, maybe come a bit below it, maybe test 103, then continue forward. And this could all happen, by Wednesday, by the Fed meeting. Maybe Fed meeting is what, makes this come up a bit more. I know the 3-day looks terrible on this. 3-day does look pretty bad on this. Kind of depends on how the Fed sounds. I do think if you look at the trigger wave on the 2-week, on the macro, I think this still looks bullish, and you could generally still come up until later this year, maybe into early next year. Keep in mind, this could go up, keep going up after the market bottoms too. That has happened, I believe, in the 1980s. So it could keep going up even after the market is bottomed and the market's starting to recover. So keep that in mind as well. The S&P 500, let's take a look at. It's a little conflicting with the NASDAQ, because the NASDAQ definitely looks significantly better than the S&P 500 right now. You have the trigger wave, continuation, red X on market cipher A. This looks, probably a rare bearish sign. I mean, unless we're able to kind of pull something like this off and only come down, a little bit more, I think you're generally going to head down here and come into a recession. I just don't really see a path with everything going on where the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, continue forward, continue bullish here. What I think could happen is Bitcoin could break away because of the fundamentals. People want to be their own bank. They don't trust banks. That's the reason why Bitcoin could continue to break away here. But S&P 500, NASDAQ, I think those are generally going to come down. It's been a sideways kind of choppy market. You had your relief rally. We're still at the same price we were in basically April 2022. So that's a year of just nothingness, essentially, a sideways year. So, I think we're due to kind of come down. And I think by the end of the year, you will see, a significant drop down. My kind of technical target right now is a lower low at 3,400. That could happen if things get really ugly by the end of the month. Most likely it would take longer, more of this trajectory into potentially May or June. I think this summer, a lot of times, sell in May, walk away. I think that could be kind of the case here. I think that's what we may see to a certain extent. And the NASDAQ as well. So this has got a little jump up. I know, this kind of jump up. I'm not. I mean, it does look, that's the weird thing here. It kind of looks good on the 2-day. It kind of looks like we could have a little bit more. But keep in mind, I think it'll play out more like this, where you come into the green, then you just reject and roll over. That would be my kind of main trajectory. And I think it will continue to bleed, generally continue to bleed against S&P 500 and go down. I mean, I think you're going to kind of at least come to, kind of pre-pandemic areas, test 10,000, test below 10,000. Theoretically, I think, a lot of times in recessions, things come back 5-6 years. So I think this could ultimately come back to kind of 7,500. I think it could have a pretty big correction here. I mean, things are known in recessions to have a 53% correction. I mean, unless there's some crazy quantitative easing or something, U.S. dollar loses reserve currency status, which could happen. It absolutely could happen. I just don't think we're gonna continue to make a recovery here, continue to come up with the NASDAQ. That's what I'm looking at. Anyway, guys, if you guys are interested in trading, we are doing a trading competition. If you want to take one of those risky trades, obviously that's on your own terms. This is not financial advice. Trading is risky. This is for experienced traders only. There is a really good promo for MEXC. We're giving away $500 total. First place gets $250. Odds are pretty good here. You do not deposit very much money to get this promo. These are the top 10 right now. Get Your Money is in first place. And you got some good odds. You got about 2 days to get in and try it. You only have to deposit $100. Take your fee over $10,000. There are zero limit fees in MEXC. You don't need a VPN. And if you use my link and deposit at least $100, shoot me a DM on Discord with your UID. And I will give you 1 free month of my exclusive Discord. I do have an exclusive Discord as well. I will be posting updates, not right 100% of the time, but we've had some really good trades in there. It is a really good community. I do have more long-term, macro analysis and strategies too if you're not really a trader. And it's a lot of education in there, so check it out if you're interested. Have a good one, guys. That's all I got. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Goodbye.